Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning. Well, that's not my line. I almost. I had to catch myself. My line is welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it.
Care who doesn't like it. I see. I forgot. Rebecca's not on the screen. I was waiting, so oh damn, she's not here.
Rebecca will be here as soon as she gets that FAMU internet together and is able to log in. She's having some connectivity issues, so we're gonna get the show started this morning and give her a chance to connect to some Bethune-Cookman. James, what's that behind you? I saw earlier, bro. Just for,
man, that was
show the people.
Slide over. Can I slide over? Can I make
a little bit.
After I done wasted tea all on my mixing board. There we go.
Oh no,
y'all see it over there.
Hold on, that Wildcats, hell Wildcats. Shout out to everybody from Bethune-Cookman College. You know what's great, James? Like we were trying to find out. We were trying to find out what we were going to call our crew, the Lions, right? Like it or not, everybody is. And I'm like, my first instinct was Lion Force from Voltron, but
from Voltron, man, right?
The universe provides balance, man. It's really simple, and y'all had it before I even knew it. The Pride. The Pride. Now, if you're part of the HBCU culture, you already know what we're talking about. Hell Wildcats, the pride of Bethune-Cookman College. Both of us, James, me and James, both of us marched in the Bethune-Cookman Wildcat Band, which is also known as the Pride. So shout out to everybody in the chat room. We're gonna call ourselves the Pride, and we're gonna obviously gonna use that. I'm gonna call Donovan Wells and tell him to come and sit on our show and let us interview him.
Go cuss both of us out.
Hey, anybody in the chat room who is watching this and you've ever been a part of HBCU culture or Bethune-Cookman College, y'all tell Donovan Wells we're gonna interview him. We're gonna bring him on. Okay. So it looks like Rebecca has gotten her FAMU internet together, and she's here. And I know we just got started, but the morning's not right unless we start with Rebecca. So James, play whatever. Yes, play about 30 seconds of something. We're gonna get Rebecca on the screen so that we can help her understand she needs better internet. It's an early break. Let's go.
Good morning, people, and welcome to Like It or Not. We'll take a quick break right quick while we're waiting for our sister Rebecca to come into the room. So we're going to play some of this non-copyright music. So let's see. Hope y'all having a good morning. Shout out to everybody that's joining us this morning, y'all. Got a great show coming up, so make sure that you stay tuned. Let's see. There we go. Oh, I can't wait for Rebecca to come on here. Right. Oh my gosh.
Were you already on? Come back later.
Yeah.
Oh, because I came late. Y'all went on without me.
Yeah, we started without you. Good morning. We try to start on time in the year of our Lord 2021. Welcome to Like It or Not, Rebecca.
I'm here, but you know how things be with my internet. But yes, welcome to Like It or Not. We're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it. That said, here's the truth. You got to do better than that FAMU internet, sis. We're gonna have to send you some Wildcat fiber optic
Ben,
cable.
the people have heard you say this time and time again.
I'm gonna say it every day.
And yes, if you're not sending new internet services, please.
No, why would I send it? Because then it gives me nothing to clown you about every single morning, right? So,
but it also makes me late to work.
No, it's still fun though. It's still great. We're gonna keep it going. Okay. Anyway, how you doing this morning, Rebecca?
I'm doing all right this morning. I was doing 6 jobs trying to make sure I get my connection back in order.
You had to be your own tech support, huh?
Yeah, I don't have any stories about yesterday evening or this morning, so I'm just here.
No weird dreams, no talking to yourself and nothing.
Look, because I done cleansed the house, prayed up, cleaned. Because I'm telling you, when you sleep in a really clean and together bedroom, it's like, your house is in order, your house is peaceful. Yeah. Them spirits is gone, okay? Like all that bad energy, you got to make sure you cleanse your home.
Right. Did you sage it?
My saging includes me like
laying on hands and anointing.
Well, yeah, like laying hands on myself, but lighting some candles and just speaking to myself and speaking in my home and being like, "You're okay, everything's okay. Whatever spirit you are, you got to go because I need my peace." So.
Need your peace. I feel that. Shout out to peace. Like I felt, I felt good this week, man. I kind of felt that same little sense of peace. Sometimes anybody ever afraid of having like calm because you're afraid that if everything's peaceful, something's gonna come and mess it up? Yeah. I live with that all the time. But
that's anxiety. That's anxiety.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. I am a very anxious person. I deal with high levels of anxiety. So, but here we are. I'm more like Monk. You ever watch that TV series Monk? No? Okay.
Oh man.
I heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never really got into it, but the few episodes I saw, I'm like, oh no, that's me. I just hide it way better than that guy hides it. So anxiety is a mug. But anyway, I digress before we go down that rabbit hole and unleash my anxiety on this morning's episode. Have y'all been following the debacle with Ted Cruz and his...
Have we? How can we not? Because social media Twitter per se, has not allowed us to forget. Like every single post down my timeline has been dragging him for filth. And the thing is, I'm here for it. I too have posted about Ted Cruz. And I also have grabbed this seed in my popcorn and just been able to read all these tweets. And listen, people have great points, but they also are the jokes are necessary too, because even though the jokes have a lot of truth to them, but it's so good. People have been taking pictures, and there's one picture of him at the airport where it says assistance from a distance, and they said that explains exactly what he's doing. Yeah.
It has been, and it actually got worse because now he's blaming his daughters for going to Cancun. Like, where they do that at? Like,
Ted Cruz, he let Trump call his wife ugly.
Texas.
So he about to drag. He gonna let the world take the blame. Like let his daughters take the blame. He's gonna blame his daughters and be like, it's because they wanted to go on vacation. Yet there are receipts that the New York Times brought up that his flight was supposed to. It wasn't supposed to come back now. He was supposed to return, I believe, on Saturday. So. It's all a lie. Everything he's saying is a lie. Of course, because we held his feet to the fire, because social media held his feet to the fire, because the constituents held his foot to the fire. Now he's looking like, I got to get back to my people. All I was trying to do was drop my kids off on a play day all the way in Mexico to a place where I said I wanted to build a wall. And that's all I wanted to do was drop them off there. Yet, you really were going to save yourself. The same place where you're trying to build a wall from allowing Mexicans to come here and have a better life. So you are you all messed up. We have you cornered, sir. And there's nothing you can do about it. You're the worst. You are the worst to your state.
And here's the thing, it's people in Texas are really suffering right now. So obviously everyone knows the massive winter storm brought freezing temperatures and widespread power outages to Texas. People incarcerated in jails were left with no running water, no extra blankets, and just barely enough food. The officer claimed that the heat was quote unquote working fine and that people in his jails got 3 meals a day and extra blankets. But according to the people in those jails, they're saying that they're suffering. And this is while Ted Cruz is going on vacation, as many Texans have suffered through the past few days without any heat whatsoever, running water or electricity or any of those things combined. Ted Cruz and his family decided to leave Texas and go to Cancun for a vacation. Now, news of Cruz's trips emerged Wednesday night as pictures of him and his family waiting in the airport gate boarding a plane was starting to circulate around social media. But after the social media frenzy and outcry, Ted Cruz decided to instead come straight home from Cancun, and he booked a flight and got back to the States. Now, instead of admitting that he was going on a vacation, he instead blamed his daughters for the entire fiasco. Text messages from a group chat containing Senator Cruz and his wife, obtained by the New York Times, showed that the trip had been planned at a short notice. Messages repeatedly sent by Cruz's wife, Heidi, who he refused to defend against Donald Trump. Keep that in mind. Described their house as freezing and invited others on a group message thread to join them at the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. No one else in the group chat appeared interested in this idea, though it had not deterred the Cruzes. Here's Ted Cruz speaking to the press as protesters chant "Resign" in the background. Take a listen in.
So the question from the video on the cell phone was whether the decision to go was tone deaf. Look, it was obviously a mistake, and in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. I was trying to be a dad, and all of us have made decisions. When you've got two girls who've been cold for two days and haven't had heater power, and they're saying, "Hey, look, we don't have school. Why don't we go? Let's get out of here." I think there are a lot of parents that'd be like, all right, if I can do this, great. That's what I wanted to do. As I said, really from the moment I sat on the plane, I began really second guessing that decision and saying, look, I know why we're doing this, but I've also got responsibilities. And it had been my intention to be able to work remotely, to be on the phone, to be on internet, to be on Zoom, to be engaged
on the beach.
But I needed to be here, and that's why I came back. And then as it became a bigger and bigger firestorm, it became all the more compelling that I needed to come back, because our priority should be fixing this problem and making sure it doesn't happen again. And I didn't want all the screaming and yelling.
Y'all were on the verge of a massive shutdown, minutes away from a massive power failure already, man. You knew what the hell was going on. Get the hell out
Exactly. Exactly. And then like he's like, I was just trying to be a good dad. Listen, bro, being a good dad means that you never put your children in harm's way like that. Not. Why would you put them on a plane in a pandemic? First and foremost, do they have the vaccine? I doubt that. Well, maybe they do, because he's a senator. So maybe they got access to the vaccine before anybody else. But then to throw his kids under the bus and say he was just trying to do it because he wanted to be a good dad, man. Listen. It's time for him to go. And he just won re-election, but people in the background were shouting, resign, resign, resign. And I think, Rebecca and James, I think it's just, I mean, these people don't care about us.
So
they don't give a damn about us.
They don't.
So these are these politicians, right? These people who are the leaders of these states. It's really sad. So let's start with him saying he wanted to be a good dad, because there's so many things I can unpack here just in that moment alone. He says he wants to be a good dad, but you signed up to be the leader of this state, the head of this state, right? Well, and you signed up to be that. So learn how to do that instead, right? Not instead of being a good dad, but you're a good father by being a good leader, by representing that you're standing in the place, you're grounded in the thing that you chose to be, right? Your daughter can look up to that, not her saying she wants to go to Cancun, not you blaming it on her, on both of your kids, that they wanted to go to Cancun with friends and you were basically chaperoning them all the way to Mexico just to come back, turn around right then and there. That didn't make any sense. So we caught you. We caught you in your lies. We've caught him before, but this right here is a pivotal moment, because your whole state
is suffering. They're
suffering. People are dying. This is not like some kind in the midst of a pandemic, right? This is what's going on. So it's. But I don't have any remorse for him. I know none. So yeah, he should definitely be resigning. But then I look at him. But then I do look at him, and hearing him speak reminds me of Biden just the other day when he was questioned about something. And the first thing he says is, me too. Like, he tried to make it personable. He made it about him. Me too. I got student loans. That's the thing about these politicians right now. They're doing this thing where they're just dismissing what the people are saying, right? And making it about them. I was trying to be a good dad. I know you guys are suffering, but I'm going through it too. But where are you? Why are you fleeing? Where's the fight that you're putting up? Right. You know, and it just shows also a level of the poor can die.
And the rich can
I got
escape.
the means to escape and save myself. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's like, it's a lot that we can unpack here.
I mean, it's a huge it's a preview of what these sociopaths are going to do when climate change really starts effing us up for real. There will be mass migrations because of climate change. What do you think these rich politicians and rich billionaires and Wall Street, what do you think they're going to do? Sit around and have to actually suffer through this with us? You see this cat, it's his first opportunity. Ted Cruz jumped on a plane to go to the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun, Mexico. Like
Mexico, the place where he wanted to
put up a wall.
Where you want to put this wall
here for a better life. So make it make sense. It's the irony of it all. Hypocrite.
And that's the thing underneath it really is the level of selfishness that these leaders have. Like, they're going to kill us, man. I hate to just be like, this is the truth, like it or not. Truth is our current leadership and our current structure. And I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about everywhere. The rich and the ruling elite don't give a damn about us. We are on our own in this thing. And this is part and parcel. Like, I think everybody is like, oh, well, he did that because he's a Republican. But let's just be real. Yeah. Look at Governor Cuomo in New York, literally lying to the American people about the number of people who died, like holding back that information. He's a Democrat. And he did this. 15,000 people died in the nursing homes across the state of New York. But did he give that information? Did he even do the job right? No, they were too busy, trying to make him the next big thing.
On CNN with his brother.
With his brother. Talk about, brother, I love you, brother. Man, y'all shut the hell up and do your jobs, or else the people are going to have to get rid of you. Shit, excuse me. I'm serious.
I felt that way too, though, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, dang, I know they wanted to. This is the problem, though. Y'all too busy trying to relate and be human with us. We are past that. We are so past it. We are in the midst of a whole Pandora, okay? And ain't nothing, because people hate that they really thought it was a panorama. But yes, we are in the midst of a whole Ponderosa, and in the middle of this, you guys want us to like you? No. How we can like you is if you really if you do your job, if you think about the people, because you are put in place because we thought you were going to think about your people, your state, help people. This is very important. We don't care
on Pandora.
We don't care if you got a little. We don't care if you got a little swag to you. We don't care if your grandfather. We don't care. We don't care anymore. It was cute for a while back then, but we got so much going on. It's how you can help us, how you can save us, how you can get our states, your local areas moving forward, how you can get us to come together and get up out of this whole thing. How? What are you doing? Because you going on CNN and kikiing with your brother about what your mama cooked, lasagna and stuff.
Right, come on.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Meanwhile, people are like, we still ain't got these stimulus checks. We still ain't got those. They ain't even gonna be $2,000 because we
ain't even getting what they said. We not getting our loans to what they promised us.
Oh, the student loans. No, we're not even.
He literally said he got loans too. He said I'm still paying. So, I mean,
dummy, cancel the loans, big dummy. You got the power, cancel the damn loans. All the student loan debt. Listen, the first revolution that's got to take place in this country is going to be against Sallie Mae. We shouldn't be paying that thing.
You got to get her name correct.
Whatever her new name is, you could change your name, Sallie Mae. We know who you is, and we know where you at, and we. No respect on her name at all. But we're laughing about it. But seriously, quiet as it's kept, man. They gonna keep breaking promises. And they're going to find out that we are worse enemies against the Democrats than against anything else. Y'all keep making promises to us and keep breaking those promises. Now they're backing out. We'll talk about it later, breaking their promises with regards to deportations and ICE. You're right. They're breaking their promises in a lot of ways. And it's impossible for us to have the conversation about how pathetic Ted Cruz is as a leader and not directly connected to the fact that him being a jerk and him being a bad father, blaming his children for his crisis, him being a bad husband, not willing to defend his wife against Donald Trump. All those things are great and fun to discuss. But the reality of it is he's simply one part of a bigger, broader system that is continuously failing us at every single stop. And eventually the people are going to have had enough.
Yep.
Look, period. That's it. I mean, that's what we can literally go in about Ted Cruz all day. But you're right. The people have had enough. He's just one part, guys. Just one part. And even underneath him was that local mayor from the in Texas as well. And I forgot that town, but from a smaller area in Texas. And him. Now we have Ted Cruz on the major level. Then we have this other representative at the mayor level in a small town in Texas who's like, listen, y'all gotta defend yourself. The weak gonna die, the strong gonna live. He had to resign, but he literally disrespected his people and told them, like, you guys are complaining, but this is a time where y'all just gonna have to grab yourself by your bootstraps. One of those things.
Survive yourself.
These are our leaders. So wherever we see, it's like it's these levels to it, but they're following each other.
I actually got that. I'm gonna throw this in our Slack. Tim Boyd. Yeah. And I got
Colorado City.
You guys got to Dwayne. Please excuse the title of it. I'm gonna upload it now. My title is F Boy Republican. But the thing is. That's exactly what they are. When we get a chance, I want to talk about that specifically, Rebecca, because what he said was, I'm sorry, these people are going to destroy us, and we're going to have to get rid of them, get them out of office. In the meantime, while you guys pull that up, I want to take a look at this clip. I believe this is the guy with the painted on beard trying to defend Ted Cruz. Take a look at this clip real quick.
The painted on.
So we did reach out to Senator Cruz's office for confirmation here on what this was all about. But TW, when you look at this, we're going to criticize Gavin Newsom for going to French Laundry. We're going to criticize the mayor of Austin, Texas, for going down to Cabo San Lucas in the middle of a pandemic. And again, Ted Cruz, not exactly apples to apples here, but he could be out there, helping out his constituents, right?
Well, I, honestly, John, I'm not so concerned about where Ted Cruz is traveling to. I mean, in this day and time, we can communicate, we can get things done remotely. And perhaps if things are as bad in Texas as I've heard, he may have a better opportunity to do it remotely. But the reality is this. There are people hurting in Texas right now.
He's actually
and part of the problem
is
the economic policy that's been promulgated by the Biden administration. If we want more of this Green New Deal, which is what this administration is really pushing, we're going to see a lot more of what's happening in Texas around the country. So I think that's why it's important that conservatives and Republicans unite against this Green New Deal.
Because he's really giving an excuse for the reason that Ted Cruz left. And then he also said that, he could work remotely. See, these are people that are the people that are trying to back him to make sure that they too have a safety net when he comes back. Like Ted Cruz gonna be like, my NIGGER, you was riding for me. You was riding for me. That's exactly what they do.
But you say, wait. You mean to tell me that even in his attempt to have solidarity with a black man, he's not even going to be able to say the A. He going to reflexively say the hard ER.
Good job, boy. That's what I feel like it is, though. In these, because seriously, though, these people ride, and not to offend anybody, but that's exactly what happens, though. These people that look like us and things like that, to be able to say this, that he can work remotely in the sun, in the warmth, while his whole state is literally dying. Right. It makes no sense, but he's going to, he's going.
It's the Beijing. The Beijing is like soaking through his brain and infecting his brain cells because that. But truthfully, the truth is that they will always have exactly what you just said, Rebecca. They're going to have a safety net to catch them, and the question is that safety net big enough to let him remain in power? right? If Ted Cruz in this moment remains in power, then he will know clearly that he could do like Donald Trump, stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and get away with it. Dwayne, do we have that graphic ready yet? I threw it in the Slack, but I want people to really look at how far this derangement goes. This is Tim Boyd, and Rebecca, this is what you were talking about. He said, let me hurt some feelings while I have a minute. Oh, he thinks he's a badass. Okay. No one owes you or your family. Okay, folks, can we look at the R? He posted, this is a mayor of a city, and he said, no one owes you
Texas
R.
accent. His Texas accent.
He A-R-E.
Or your family.
Or your family, anything. Nor is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this. Actually, that is literally the purpose of the government. He said,
sink or swim.
He says, sink or swim. It's your choice. The city and county, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe.
My God.
Let's bring this out. I mean, he goes on and on and on and on and on and on, but it just shows you, the level of disrespect. A couple of things in there, right? A couple of things in there. You're going to stop cutting me off, Rebecca.
Yeah, you cut me off a few times earlier today, but we won't. We won't.
No, the point though, the real problem here is that this is a person who literally was elected to do exactly what he's trying to convince us that they have no responsibility to do. If the government does not provide for the people during crisis, we should not have a government. If a city cannot provide for the people in the crisis, why the hell do we pay taxes? If a county or a state cannot provide for the people, what the hell are they taxing us for every single year when we pay our income taxes, state, local, federal taxes, sales tax? They're taking our money at every single turn, and they're trying to convince us that in actuality, they don't owe us anything. You owe us a whole lot. Let me stop. Because these clowns don't need to resign. We need to chase them the hell out of town. That's what we need to do. Every single one of them. Every one of them, including Democrats who are breaking their promises at this moment. I have zero tolerance, zero patience. I don't care if you are. I voted for Joe Biden. Damn it. I lost supporting Joe Biden. I lost actual money supporting Joe Biden because I felt like we had a better chance of survival as a human species if we got rid of the orange clown in chief, the white supremacist in chief, right? But you ain't gonna get us to sign off on Democrats neglecting us every single time we look up, not living up to their promises. So I don't care. I simply do not care what party you are a part of. If you're not helping the people, we're coming for you. Let's go to a break before I say something else.
I wasn't ready. I wanted to add something in there. See, I let you go ahead and filibuster.
Ain't no filibuster.
You were speaking some truth. You were in the house today, Pastor. You were.
I ain't worried about you, Rebecca, and that Robin Hood hat you got on.
And I think it's really cute. My mama gave it to me.
It is dope. It is dope. But it does remind me of Robin Hood and
Robin Hood was pretty cute. Robin Hood was pretty chic if we could put that outfit into today's day. But listen, what I wanted to talk about, since you were preaching just now, was the fact that Tim Boyd also tried to use religion to support his BS.
Is that in that same post?
Yes. He said, folks, God has given us...
Bring it back up.
He said, folks, God has given us the tools to support ourselves in times like this. This is sadly a product of a socialist government where they feed people to believe that the few will work and others will become dependent for handouts. Am I sorry that you have been dealing with electricity and water? Yes, but I'll be damned if I'm going to provide for anyone that is capable of doing it themselves.
See, Rebecca, there's a reason I wanted to go to break, because I need to find out where this cat is now. Tim Boyd.
Well, he's now resigned. But here's the thing.
Oh yeah, he's nowhere.
He's now resigned. But here, I pointed that out.
But that's not good enough, man. That's not. I'm sorry. At this point, like, he's had that power, and he's listen. These people are going to destroy humanity. They will literally stand by and watch as the oceans rise, as the temperatures become unbearable, and they're going to jet off. Why do you think Jeff Bezos is now, he's left Amazon and he's focused on rockets and space? That's because they know they're about to destroy this planet and leave all of our poor asses here to fight each other to try to survive. I'm sorry, like it's almost time. It's almost time. We've been as patient as we can with these people, but they're going to destroy us if we do not break ourselves free from their control.
Okay, you know what? Ben done took over by my little piece. Listen, Bubba, take us to break.
Your piece.
Take us to break. That was my story I threw in there. I threw like 5 different things about Ted Cruz in there.
Child, you were late this morning with that Bama internet.
I was late because my internet, but here you go. My boss is complaining about my internet. My boss is complaining about my internet. I only pay for what I can afford.
You better talk to them other people around there. You better talk to them other folks who them corporate slave masters that try to pimp the whole system. Go to break, James. We got some guests coming up after this.
Good morning again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show so far. Make sure that you stay tuned. We have some really good guests, great guests coming on very momentarily here. So let's see what we got. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room. Good morning, Mama. I see you in there. Good morning, Susan. Hope y'all are enjoying this. Hey, make sure that you hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that you get everything, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. So you always know when the morning, see, there it goes. When like it or not, it's going down, y'all. Anthony, I appreciate that. Mara, good morning.
Thought I was nothing without you. You made me beg and you made me crawl.
Andy, good morning.
You made me and you made me fall for you.
Brand, good morning. Bubbalo.
You're no good, still I'm loving you.
Nat A, good morning.
But I made up my mind. I'm gonna pack my bags up, walk out the door. I won't be back, you'll see me no more. No, no.
Good morning. Oh yes, y'all. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Woo! Hope everybody's gonna have a great weekend. I know I am. Much closer. What's going on? Good morning. Purple Rain Hearts, I see you.
But you cheated and deceived me.
Mom, you better sing this song in the chat.
For me at all.
Chili Dragon, what's going on? Oh yeah, we are getting the Lions Den up real soon, so stay tuned, Andrea. We got it coming up. We had a few technical difficulties, but they're gonna get it situated real soon, okay? So it should be open momentarily, y'all. Shout out to the Lions Den and shout out to the Pride.
I won't be back. You'll see me no more. No, no. You better leave me.
Yes, when I tell you, D. Barnwell, what's going on? Like, I really forgot that it was Friday myself until just then. Like, wait a minute, it's Friday.
Please leave me alone. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll be home. You left me stranded, looking like a fool.
Chuck Diesel, shout out, brother.
All those nights alone in our bedroom. You said one thing and did another, didn't you? Know this, I refuse to be blue. Don't try, don't try to deny it. You know it's true.
Kelly, I appreciate that. Trying to play y'all all the good hits from this week that I played. It was so much new music. My gosh.
I'm your man. Stand up.
Jawan cousin James Williams. It's so funny you got like my full name, but like not the full name. Like your middle and last name is my first and last. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room taking us out, y'all. Make sure that you are hitting that like button, y'all.
A promise is big enough, you know. You can at least try.
My co-star, we wish this was Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, it's giving Smokey Robinson. It's making me miss people it's making me miss the man on the train that I seen years and years ago that I locked eyes with that I will never know.
Don't try.
That happens to y'all too.
Go home. Both of y'all go home, okay?
I didn't say that. I'm just.
But has that ever happened to you before? Where like,
oh yeah.
This was back when I lived in New York and I used to ride the subway. I used to really fall in love with people for like 5 minutes, and that miserable behind that place used to be miserable, bro. But just people around me were so miserable. But I used to lock eyes with somebody on the train over, and we would just look at each other like, I ain't never gonna know you. You ain't never gonna know me. But I love you.
That moment. Yeah.
But I love you.
Actually, I
don't know you, but I love you.
I did that before, and I ended up marrying that woman, so it works out sometimes. Rebecca, I got to cover my ass at all points. Go ahead, Rebecca. What's the next?
I was like, that's not the same. I said it's you never seen again.
Y'all ain't gonna get me in trouble. Y'all ain't gonna get me in trouble in my household, taking me into conversations I should not be having, remembering stuff.
What? Do you think that Jada didn't have a life before you? Like, what are you saying?
No, I'm saying I did not have let the record reflect, I knew nobody, like there was only one person. No, anyway, joking. Anyway, let's go to the next story, Rebecca.
Look, okay, it's you. You're digging that rabbit hole. Okay, but I wanted to show you guys. We wanted to show like little kids are so precious. Black babies are so beautiful. Wait. I mean, all babies are beautiful, but something about these babies with the curly froze, and it's just so cute. Let's take a look at this beautiful baby girl as she takes on her impression of Stacey Abrams.
My name is Stacey Abrams. I know you heard me. I was the first black woman to ever run for governor in Georgia. I lost, but I registered over 800,000 new voters.
You better talk, sis.
Was very helpful by the curry laughing. I also write romance novels. Stacey Abrams.
Oh man.
It's beautiful. It's
she
wonderful.
Said, I also write romance novels.
And she said, I know you heard me.
I know you heard me.
So she had that power. We call it the little kids with no teeth in the front, mazura. So it's so cute to see that, like just her adorable. In her little missing teeth and her little hair, her natural hair, and her little sass. You know what I mean? It's wonderful to see that Stacey Abrams is historical, for all of us, but to these little girls, that's like the Rosa Parks when we were younger. That's like that for them. And I love to see it. And I love the kids that are being empowered and knowledgeable, and her little attitude. She's just a little powerful package. Look, I want me a kid. This is what I want. I want to have a kid, and then just to see how it look, and then put it back in there.
Oh, I can't with you.
Because I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm looking at all the comments in the comment section saying, "Oh, I want one. I want one." Okay.
Yeah. I want a kid. I want a kid just to see what it look like. Like what would it look like?
Make sure you're ready,
and then put it back in there.
Because I promise you, it's a roller coaster. It is make sure you're ready for kids, because I love my babies. I love them, and I would burn the earth to a core for embers for them. But y'all just make sure y'all ready for kids.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. What else we got, Rebecca?
Look, I think it's Mercury retrograde, because I've just been really like, my uterus been like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, you better go and sit down somewhere. But the more news that we have on today, because we're gonna get to the news.
I cannot.
So speaking of Stacey Abrams, who's a representative here in Atlanta, Atlanta is set to host the NBA All-Star Game on March 7th. However, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is raising concerns over the idea of fans coming to the city for the game. She says people should not travel to Atlanta to party. She said that in a statement. Bottoms also said that there will be no NBA-sanctioned events open to the public and that the city strongly encourages local businesses not to host events in the city related to this game. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and others have spoken out to express their unhappiness about the idea of playing an all-star game during a pandemic at all. The NBA told teams Monday that strict protocols will be in place for the all-star events. So it's interesting. I want to start here because the other day I was on social media and I did see the story come up. And it's funny because a lot of people don't understand that Keisha does have power in Atlanta, her area. People look at her as just a face, just a placeholder, just a representative here, right? Just that's all she's worth. But I'm like, they're saying like she can't even do anything. Remember when, because they were coming at me because we were having this conversation. They were saying, remember when she tried to do anything? Because I said, Keisha, hush. If you're not going to really do nothing about it, you got to shh. Because the whole pandemic, Atlanta been open. Except for 1 week, one day when you decided to fight for a mask mandate, I believe. And of course, there was pushback by Kemp, right? Yeah. Who tried to sue you on that. But you fought for it though. You kept on going. You stood your ground on that. Like y'all gonna wear these masks. So I was telling people that yes, she has power. She fought and stood her ground on that. Even though he was trying to sue her, they dropped the lawsuit eventually, and people had to wear their mask. The mask mandate was put in place. So she has power. They wanted to say, "Oh, it's Kemp causing her to do this." No, it's not. It's not. She can definitely do more than just make a statement and say, don't party. They're still going to come to this city. They're still going to come to this city for the All-Star game. I'm not feeling the fact that Atlanta been open this whole entire time. And now you just want to drop a statement and say, just don't come and party.
I think I saw on Instagram, like they're already advertising the $1 million thing at like the Magic City or one of these clubs that they did last time they had this. And I think it was when the Super Bowl was here in like 2 years ago, right? And they had this big thing where all the stars win. They're advertising something like that right now for the city of Atlanta. So I hear what Keisha is saying, but sis, don't put it on the people. Put it on the people who are going to make money off of this. Put it on the NBA. Why is the NBA having this all-star challenge in the first place during the middle of the damn pandemic?
Push it, right?
The reason is because they got to make their money. Exactly. And they're more than happy to put the lives of the NBA players on the line, but they don't give a damn about the people in Atlanta who are going to get sick because people came from out of town. Everybody started partying. Atlanta's already opened up. Everybody partying anyway. People are going to literally get sick and die as a result of this. And yet, and still, they're like, don't go and party. How about don't be greedy, capitalistic pigs who are more interested in making your money than you are about the lives of other human beings?
Yes. Look, I needed to wait for that pause to speak. What about Magic City, Dwayne?
What is it?
Look, but anywho, no, seriously though, all of that to say, like all of that, yes, Ben. They're greedy capitalists, and I believe that Keisha does fall in line with that because she did open up Atlanta because the money needed to be made. You know, they needed our dollars, especially
where the money
at the time.
reside.
Yeah, where the money resided, especially at a time when we just got our stimulus checks. So, and then we have the representatives, because people ain't gonna listen to Keisha, right? But they gonna listen to T.I. Who said, don't come to Atlanta, it will come to. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You listen to him, who literally will go into a booth or a place with Dave Chappelle, where Dave Chappelle says, y'all don't wear no mask over here. And T.I. is saying to him, COVID is not really here. We're good over here. You know what I mean? But just to really go and let you know where the mind of the people from ATL is, they already got flyers talking about these ATL parties, and they got like COVID-19 friendly. Make sure you at the door with a mask. But when you get through the door, will you have your mask on? Will it be required for you to have the mask on? So these places are going to be overpacked. There won't be social distancing. So it's like, Keisha, it's been this way, and you're too late with the statement. They gonna look at you like, girl, come on, Keish. We've been right here with it. You've been letting us party for so long. Now you want to say don't party? I'm not getting it. So yeah. It's hypocritical to me.
It's crazy because it's going to be a whole lot of parties going on. Project.
You DJ? Look, you DJing that one?
January. Oh man,
don't do it, Jay.
When this party. While this pandemic been going on, brother had to make a coin. But when I tell you I had this mask on, but these people, they don't care. They get in there, they have their mask on at first. 5 minutes had to be in it, the mask comes off. But everybody drinking all in everybody's face. Nah, bro, I'm good.
But we're going to be in there DJing with Homer Simpson's radioactive suit on.
Right, full hazmat suit on.
yeah. You gonna have to, but you are DJing a party tonight. Right
tonight,
patron party.
Yes, sir.
Patron party. Anybody who's a supporter of the show, we're having our regular patron party tonight. You can get access to that by going to patreon.com.
Is it every Friday? Look, because I don't know.
Every Friday. It's like we're doing it once a month, but actually I think we're doing it more like twice a month now. We're just going to keep doing them. And it is a bop. And I think what we're going to do special, because there's a lot of people who support the show who aren't patrons yet and who aren't like subscribers yet. Dwayne, pull up on the screen, since we're talking about a party, pull up on the screen the Voices app image, and anybody who downloads the Voices app, this is a way that you can support us, support independent media by downloading this app. Download this app and share it with as many people as possible. Every single download is actually support for this show. If you download this, we're going to send you the link to the patron party through the Voices app this evening around 9 p.m. That's how you can get access. If you're not a patron, you got to download the app and invite somebody else to download the app. Now, that said, that's where DJ exclusive is going to be tonight. And if we need to, James, it's like real talk, we'll have a patron party every night to make sure that you take it down for me, to make sure that you don't have to go out and DJ in this pandemic
and be out there. Okay, I'm cool with that. And make sure y'all there tonight, because y'all will get all of the real music, and I might mix in some of the non-copyright stuff because it sounds so good too. So, but more so, beautiful. You're gonna get everything tonight, boy. When I say everything, my gosh, I got it in my bones.
Hey, shut up in your bones, baby.
Bubba Jakes. That's what Rebecca, you coined that. Bubba Jakes. That's what we would call him. Bubba Jakes.
He is Bubba Jakes. Bubba Jakes of the Lion's Den.
Bubba Jakes of the Lion's Den. I love it. Since we're still in Georgia and we have a few minutes before our guests come on, I want to go over one other story that's happening in Georgia. The Georgia Republicans seek rule changes for Trump prosecution. Less than a week ago, it was revealed that Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney, was going to investigate Donald Trump and his interference in the 2020 election as he attempted to pressure Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Can't pronounce that, but they have in this state shifted and introduced a bill. And the point of the bill, Republicans, have introduced a bill. And the point of the bill is to make it so that any crime associated with election tampering now requires a grand jury. Grand juries historically have been ways of denying black people justice in this country. We've seen it time and time and again. Anytime there's a police shooting, they take it to a grand jury, and that grand jury is presented evidence generally by prosecutors who have no interest or no desire in actually convicting that police officer. Similarly, they're trying to create cover for Donald Trump so that if there are charges actually pressed by Fani Willis, if there are actual charges pressed, then it will have to go first in front of a grand jury. And so this, Rebecca and James, is really just a way of them trying to protect Donald Trump from his treasonous attempt that led and culminated with the events of January 6th. I want to read a quote from Georgia State College law professor Anthony Michael Christ, and this is what he had to say. He said, quote, "This is an attack on black political power. He said, if folks engage in election misconduct in Fulton County, then they should face jurors who look like members of the community in Fulton County, subject to the discretion of decisions by elected officials empowered by Fulton voters. So in other words, it's like, even if they're doing a grand jury process in this, which this bill is presenting, they're presenting it in a way that they're not going to be held accountable by the very people they're trying to disenfranchise. So I agree with this. This is 100% an attempt to attack black political power, particularly in this state, because it was black folks, particularly DeKalb County and Fulton County, that turned this state blue. The bill is unlikely to pass since it required 2/3 of the Senate to ratify, but it really shows us that these folks don't have any intention in dealing fairly or in good faith. If the system is used against them in the way they don't like, then they try to change the system and they try to break the rules and break the laws so that they can maintain political power. I don't know what y'all think about this, but this is, I mean, it's to be expected, but it's also, it just shows us really that we're dealing with people who don't care about us at all.
So are they, it sounds like they're not only requiring the grand jury from Fulton County anymore. It sounds like they're requiring it from all counties.
From all counties. And they're trying to dilute. That's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to dilute the voices of black people.
Yeah. Because if it's only in Fulton County, we know.
They are.
So they gotta start reaching out outside the parameters, like the Metro Fulton County and then the other counties where the people look just like them to come in and be a part of that jury. So,
and that's the strategy. It has always been a strategy to neutralize collective black power, right? It is the same spirit behind all of the gerrymandered districts that we see, right? If they see a collection of black people with power, what do? They go in and it's actually called cracking the district, right? They'll crack the district open and then they'll split it up and they'll dilute our power so that now you have all the black power concentrated in just really narrow swaths of land, right? Where a congressperson from a particular district will have to travel the entire side. Like, take Florida, for example. The gerrymandered districts in Florida, you have to drive from like northern Miami all the way up to like northern West Palm Beach to encapsulate some districts that are black. And that amount of dilution of our black political power is exactly what we're seeing here. What they're trying to do is literally take away our ability to have control over our own political destiny by taking away our power to hold these people accountable. And they know they can do it by simply diluting it and putting in enough white conservatives who, no matter what Donald Trump did, they would never hold him or any other Republican accountable.
Look, period.
I love it.
That's it. Like, this story, okay, like this story is to me, it just shows that the system is going to always find a way, because this is how the system is created. They're going to always find a way to favor their folks, especially when they have folks that work in the system that support what Trump was. And they're going to make sure that they're going to put it in his favor. This is nothing new. This is something that they will do. They will stretch it. They will pull all the cards out and say that it's okay. Say that this is normal when indeed it's not. But and we're in Georgia, so
they're mad. They big mad. Can y'all imagine? You think about how some of these folks are running around here like, I can't believe that we lost Georgia to these coloreds, right? They are
is that why mad, the lip go up like that for real? The lip go up like that? I can't even do it.
Like, Georgia has been a Republican stronghold for the last 40 years, and we let this here Stacey Abrams come down. That's they pissed off. They mad.
They mad. So. And that's it. Look, and they could be mad. We're gonna see how this goes, though.
And that's that on that.
But
that's so Mary had a little lamb.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Y'all see, I'm scared. I'm scared to take it to a break, because last time I tried to take it to a break, Rebecca was like,
Yes, Rebecca, I know that. I know that I came in late because I'm on internet that I can afford.
FAMU internet.
From FAMU.
It's definitely not Florida A&M University.
Oh, Ben, we didn't show Rebecca, did we?
Oh, show Rebecca, and then we go to break because we're going to bring up our guests coming up.
Y'all trying to my spirit this morning. I told you I cleansed my home in my spirit, and here y'all go.
You see that maroon and gold back there? Can you reach it and hold it up? Hold it up for the culture.
Let me slide back real quick.
We're going to take time for this. I know people listening can't understand what's going on, but what he's holding up is a very stylish Wildcats Letterman jacket. It's Cookman University.
I don't think anybody's seen that before. It definitely looks. What's so funny is my high school actually rocked these colors, and we were Wildcats as well. There,
y'all were blessed.
So you already know.
Blessed.
No, it was a predominantly. It was in the middle of nowhere where black people didn't know their identity. It was just weird. It was weird. Mute his mic, Dwayne, because I'm about tired of that bald-headed man. Mute both of these bald-headed men. Mute their mics, because what you're not gonna do.
Your bald-headed university.
What you're not gonna do? My university got edges and the hair draped down its back. Y'all university was dry land, dry edges. Y'all was giving Gorilla Glue, girl. Let's move on. We're going to
balance out the conversation in a minute, because if I'm not mistaken, our first guest, State Senator Shevrin Jones, he's actually a product of FAMU as well. So. And you're bringing on people. I haven't heard you bring on anybody from your college, because it was a college when you went there. They weren't even identified as a university. But now that you are, can you call somebody? No, because y'all ain't got nobody. Y'all ain't got nobody. It was a college founded by a black woman versus some white folks' money saying, "Hey, let's give these black folks something."
You are bringing on literally a representative from the best, the orange and green. The orange and that green. You could put up that maroon and whatever that was. It was giving very much FSU. Let's cut to break.
Oh, there you see. We love you, Rebecca. Somebody said in the chat room, how the DJ got better internet?
I could really use a change of scene.
I hate you.
The greenery. Close the match that they were handed down to me, but I'm still fly.
Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room, y'all. We thank you so much for tuning in and watching, like it or not with us. Make sure that you hit that like button, and always know we can share comments. Always know like it or not is going live, y'all.
Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside.
Shut up, It Getter. Good morning.
Right now. Say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young. I'm free. Can't nobody take me.
Make sure that you get the Voices app downloaded. Oh my gosh, they're still going, but it's in my ear, y'all. Patricia, I appreciate it.
Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was
Goku. Shut up, brother. What's going on? Good morning. Brand Rebecca is not playing with us. She come gets us all the time.
I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hate like you. It could all be worse.
Now they in my ear talking about accreditations. Oh Lord. All right, make sure that y'all dropping those lion ends in the chat room. Drop those lines, y'all. Drop those lions, y'all. And a good morning.
I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now.
The True Dragon. Don't start, man. Don't start.
It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it now. It's your time. It's your time. Oh. If you're on the bus
Get it right.
If you're on a train, say yeah.
Make sure that y'all download the Voices app, y'all, so y'all can be in the building tonight at the Patreon party. Trust me, it is awesome, amazing, and it will go down. You get some of the best music and best DJing you ever heard, y'all.
Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now.
Why don't you get it by now? Tell me what you learned in grade school. Give it to me like you want it. Did you forget that golden rule? Why is
damn
it
rattlers.
one-sided? It should really be give and take. Fill you up and leave me empty. Baby, was that my mistake? Covering these feelings, going through changes. I'm just so mad right now, I can't even think straight. So I'm
The True Dragon, that's right. I got that vibranium internet from Wakanda.
I didn't get it.
Rebecca's is from Tallahassee.
That's because I told you,
Seven Hills.
and I keep putting that out there. I'm only going to pay for what I can afford. It's a whole panoramic.
I have no.
It's a pancake, Rebecca. It's a whole pancake.
It's a whole pastime.
I do know. I have no words, Rebecca. I don't even know what to say. It's panoramic. Anyway, welcome back to Like It or Not, folks. I'm excited to be joined by a very long time friend of mine, but more so than being my friend, he is a state senator for the state of Florida, the 35th District of Florida, Senator Shevrin Jones. He's the founder of Lead Nation, a nonprofit dedicated to education, mentoring, service, character, and public speaking for middle and high school students. And he's the executive director of Florida Reading Corps. Senator Shevrin Jones, thank you so much for joining me. How you doing?
Senator, you got to get it right. That's a rattler right there. Get it correctly. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I mean, since she started, I try to throw in the white flag at the beginning of the segment. Simply
we ended the last segment. We ended the last segment with these people.
But Rebecca, did I not surrender? I said
well,
for the sake of the
you got
segment,
me fired up. But the Lord works in mysterious ways. He done brought this rattler on.
Oh, Jesus.
I love this. I mean, we can talk about this all day if we desire to.
No, let's get to the
you are a proud graduate of Florida A&M University. Salute.
Wait, Ben, it's the Florida A&M University.
Put some respect on it.
That Florida A&M University.
We'll take that too. Listen.
Florida A&M. No, here we go. No, but we will get back to the sibling rivalry that is, and let's be real. Like, the sibling rivalry is real because we get real angry when we talking about Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M. We like me and Rebecca. We love each other, and we've known each other for years, and we love each other. But we'll come to rhetorical blows over our schools, respectively. That said, I want us to turn all of that rage that we have in our sibling rivalry against the people who really deserve it. Senator Jones, I was going to bring you on the show and would have you back at any time. But you said something on Twitter last night that I think is really poignant, and it is rooted in a clip of Governor DeSantis. Death Santis is what they're calling him now, because he has demonstrated time and again through this pandemic that he has no regard for human life. And before I read what you said, I want to first play the clip of Ron DeSantis in this press conference so that everyone can see exactly how repulsive this human being who is occupying the governor's mansion in Florida actually is. Take a look at this clip.
But look, I mean, if Manatee County doesn't like us doing this, then we are totally fine with putting this in counties that want it. And we're totally happy to do that. So anyone that's saying that, let us know. If you want us to send to Sarasota next time, or Charlotte, or Pasco, or wherever, let us know. We're happy to do it.
Now, to be sure, he's talking about the distribution of the vaccine. He's saying if you don't like what we're doing in your county, then we'll send your vaccines elsewhere. To that, you said, Senator Jones, you said, I serve the largest black district in Florida, Miami Gardens, a community that has been hit hard by this pandemic. And to hear this type of rhetoric from Governor DeSantis is disappointing. Some communities have to fight for vaccines while others are getting the red carpet. Could you just talk about your perspective on this and the problem that is Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, well, and I meant every word that I said, because we know what the coronavirus has done within our community. The statistics is real about the coronavirus, to where the black community have suffered much more because of pre-existing conditions, because of the lack of health care, more than our white brothers and sisters. And the governor is very well aware of the statistics, because we've shown it to him, the professionals have shown it to him. And for him to go to Manatee County to allow a commissioner to say that the 3,000 vaccines will be given to the two wealthiest zip codes within that county, while we're in South Florida fighting for vaccines, and we're getting 500 here, 500 there, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and people can't get an appointment for 2-3 weeks, up to a month. That's the red carpet in Manatee County, while we still constantly have to fight to get vaccines for within our community. And I mean it, that within the state of Florida, District 35 is the largest black district in the state, but yet and still we're fighting like second-class citizens just to get vaccinated. And that's why African Americans do not trust the government and even the vaccine distribution or receiving it.
And it's man, brother, you hit on a whole lot there, because even in our attempts to overcome the justifiable hesitation that black people have with regard to receiving this vaccine, we are also having to overcome the disproportionate distribution of this that is in your state, not going to communities of color, specifically black communities. So it's like you're fighting in your district, you're fighting on a two-front war against the misinformation, disinformation with regards to the vaccine, but also a state governor who simply has no regard for the conditions of people in your district.
No, I mean, there's no regard at all. I mean, but this is, I mean, it's not as if I'm surprised by what's happening, right? And the fact of the matter is this: if we don't say nothing, we're just as bad as the governor if we don't say anything about it. The problem that we're dealing with right now in the state of Florida is that there was no distribution plan. Because there was no distribution plan, we have all of these hiccups that we have going on. Thank God for Director Moskowitz, who is the director of emergency management here in Florida, because he, as much as he can, he did try to put these vaccine pods within African American communities, but he can only do what the executive leadership will allow him to do. And so, with that being said, we now sit in a position where we're begging for vaccines to come into our community to make sure that we can have the access that we need. If you want us to trust us, the government, as you all are trying to communicate to the blacks to receive the vaccine, give them a reason to trust you.
Absolutely. I look at Florida, and all three of us on the screen now, we've all either lived in Florida for an extensive amount of time or currently in Florida, as you are, Senator Jones. And I feel like a lot of the problem in that state is the fact that so many victories and for the Republicans have just like seceded one after the other. The political situation in the state of Florida is tenuous at best for people who actually want to do good. Talk about the political climate as it pertains to like how we actually survive this pandemic. There's political problems that we have. There's you guys are in the minority in the Senate, right? You guys are in the minority in the House, and you have DeSantis. How do we make these gradual changes that need to happen, simultaneously realizing that we don't have a lot of time to wait for these gradual changes?
Well, I would be lying if I said that Democrats in Florida were elated with the state and local election results in November and what happened in August. While we were thrilled with the win of, and we celebrate Vice President Harris and President Biden, we clearly have some work to do when it comes to how we organize. We have work to do in the bench that we have. Let me tell you something. You put something on Facebook not too long ago, on Twitter not too long ago that I agree with, and that is we are approaching a time where we're going to have to start disrespecting our elders, respectfully disrespecting our elders. Because I believe that there is a bench that exists, but there are individuals who are in the way for that bench to now start clearing up.
Right.
We have stale leadership that constantly is getting reelected. And if we don't begin the process of moving new leadership in, the policies that can change and overturn and move us in the direction, this progressive direction that we want to move in, it'll never happen. We'll be waiting for years and years because individuals will not relinquish power to be able to give it to someone who can bring more innovative ideas. You won't have monopoly on the ideas. There are other people who can bring the ideas to help people within our community.
Rebecca, I want to bring Rebecca into this conversation as well, because like in the state of Florida, we have and I still say we, because I mean, like all my time, college, high school was spent in Florida. But as you're saying, that stale leadership, it is infecting everything, not only on the state level, but even in those congressional seats. And as you know, I did say that it's time to start disrespecting our elders. And you took it exactly the way I want. Like, it's time for us to start moving that generation out of the way, not because they're older, but because exactly what you described is stale leadership. And Rebecca, I know, like, you know, in your time in Florida, you've run into some of these same problems that people are dealing with regard to leadership, failure of leadership not only for African American communities, failure of leadership in terms of the Haitian community in Florida. It is indicative of exactly the problems that we're facing in Georgia, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's funny because in these places where we talk about leadership, we just talked about leadership in Texas, how they are focused on a certain type of people. Minorities, Black and brown people are going to be at the bottom of that list, especially immigrants in Florida will be at the bottom of that list when they are Black and brown immigrants. So we know that there has been something, you know, especially me, my parents are immigrants. Leadership in South Florida has never, particularly in West Palm Beach, has never been, has never included them when it came to any things like policies or anything. They've always been at the bottom of the list. So when we look at people like George or DeSantis, when I was watching him speak, what's funny enough is that although we don't have Trump anymore as the leader, just in his mannerisms, you know, and how he's holding his hands and how he's talking to the people, to speaking down on them. And because they didn't like something, he says, if you didn't like it, I'm going to reprimand you some more by just taking it away and giving it to the other communities that accepted it. And that's not how you speak to people. That's not how you speak to people that are questioning you, rightfully so, and who are holding you accountable. So that just goes to show that leadership, you know, we have to start looking at who we have in place, which I think we are starting to, but this right here, focus on what these people are saying. Yeah. This is a whole Pandora's box. You know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So, and this is how he's looking at the community. He says, this is supposed to be somebody that's supposed to be listening to the people, following what they say, seeing how he can help, seeing how he can take what they say and start developing policies and developing plans, right? That's why we put you in place. But you're just like, I made a decision. Y'all don't like it? I'm gonna take it away and go give it to people who look like me.
Right.
So this is where the problem lies. Yeah.
Senator Shev?
Well, listen, period. There's nothing for me to say.
Point blank.
That's why I just waited.
Period, point blank.
Florida A&M. It's a Florida A&M thing. You know?
Jesus, here we go. But the one thing that you said in there, Rebecca, that because the Trump is gone, but Trumpism, Senator Shev, Trumpism isn't gone.
That's real. It's alive. Trumpism is alive and well. But I will say this, that there is a place that we're in right now politically to where the Republicans are now having to find themselves. They're trying to figure out, are we Trump or are we the party before Trump? And it's a hard thing for them to try to balance, because the Trumpism is real, because you have those individuals who are diehard Trump Republicans. But then you do have your Reagan Republicans who we also consider moderates, who will work with individuals like myself on things like providing health care or providing education for public schools. I mean, they used to work together in these type of areas. I mean, but not this new party of hell no. That's where we're at right now. And so now they're trying to balance this area, that they're trying to figure out who are we. And it's going to take them some time to do that.
Absolutely. So my question then is, what strategy? Because I know you're calculating. I know that you're not in this to play these games, right? What's the path? What's the path forward, both in the short term, because we have a crisis on our hands, this pandemic, the distribution of the vaccine, the reluctance of Black people to take the vaccine. I mean, those numbers, that percentage of Black people who don't want to take the vaccines, it's skyrocketing. So in the short term, what is the immediate strategy that you think we should employ in order to overcome not only Governor DeSantis and his shenanigans, but also the problems that we have with COVID-19 and the vaccination fears in the Black community?
Well, that's a loaded question, because we can go two different ways on that, right? So I can tell you from the political standpoint what the strategy should be. Let me deal with the politics first. I believe the strategy from politics, what we need to do is that the party here in Florida, we have a new leader now. We are going to have to learn that the sandbox is for everybody. We cannot be this party that says, oh, well, we're not going to deal with the Bernie bros, on the moderates in this sandbox, or we're not going to deal with the Warren supporters and only the moderates. And we can't do that. If we're going to win, we're going to have to get in the sandbox, deal with our grievances, find out what we all can agree on, what we disagree on, and figure out can we still go on a pathway forward? Because I can guarantee you, we all want the same thing. How we get in there is the problem. That's the first thing. As far as the pandemic is concerned, the only way we're going to get out of this is Florida cannot fight with the White House. And that's what's happening right now. Florida is fighting with the White House, and the governor, I don't know whether he's pissed off because Trump is not president anymore, or whatever the case might be. But that can't be the reason why we're not getting in the direction that we're moving in. If we are going to get out of this pandemic, we're going to have to create a partnership. If the governor don't want to do it, allow individuals who have a relationship with the White House to do it, to make sure that the 21 million people within the state of Florida is taken care of. Because at the end of the day, after he leaves office, and after this pandemic is done, we're still going to have 27,000 plus people who have already died. Families who will have empty seats at their table because they lost a loved one while they're still trying to play politics.
Senator Jones, I want to leave it there. No need for us to travel back on the FAMU Cookman thing because I think the people, yes, we know, Rebecca, we know, but I think the people also need to know that there are politicians, and I don't even they're leaders that actually do give a damn. Can you tell the people exactly how they can get up with you and how they can support what you're doing, because you're one of those leaders?
I appreciate that, Ben. And Rebecca, I appreciate the conversation, y'all allowing me into this space. You can always follow me on Twitter. I'm at Shevrin Jones, Instagram, Shevrin Jones, Facebook, Shevrin Jones. And I'll be honest with you, if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to get a mixture of everything. You're going to get some motivation. You're going to get some political backlash. You're going to get it all. So it's
some scriptures too.
It's some.
You can get some scriptures. I mean, we go way back. Yeah. No, I was just excited. I was excited because we didn't even talk about koinonia and the family down there and the spiritual side. But you're right, because I look forward to your inspirational messages on top of the political messages. I'm sorry, I just got a little bit excited. Finish to tell the people. Yeah,
it's a balance because the one thing I'm sure that I'm clear on, that after this is all said and done, and when I'm done with politics, the one thing that will never leave me is Shevrin in my faith. So that's all I got.
Come
on, man.
It's always some church. Why is it always some church on the show at like some moment? It's so funny.
Because because people need to I think people need to be clear. Like some of the truest radicals in the black community, you're going to find it in the black church. And generally speaking, we who started in the black church and we felt like there's a little bit more that we got to do, both of us. We all, and then Rebecca, you too. We all came out of it, and we're doing this work here. And Shevrin, while we're doing it in media, you're literally doing it, working your way through the channels of political power. Because of, honestly, if I had to assume, and you could speak for yourself, what motivates you is your faith.
In my faith. That's all. That's all I have. And I'll say is that after my brother died 3 years ago now, that's when my faith was tested. My dad, he started saying something that really started internalizing with me. He said that there comes a point in time to where what you say you believe, you have to start believing it. And that hit me 3 years ago. And so now I use that as my catapult in a lot of different areas. Even when I was running for Senate, as much as my opponents came after me and they did all this stuff to me, that was the one thing that I kept saying to myself, when it's time to believe it, you better start believing it. And that's what I did. Some people ask me, what's my next move? I said, I'm going to move as high as the people take me.
I'm going to move as high as the people take me. Enough said. Shout out to FAMU for producing such quality leaders. We'll give y'all that. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll be speaking with Rosa Clemente and so many more stories to go. We will be back with more Like It or Not after this. Is that Hell Wildcats out here in the background?
The disrespect.
Shout out to Senator Shevrin Jones. We appreciate you so much, sir. Oh yeah, I played it earlier as well too. Y'all will play it on the y'all hear it on the replay. Thank y'all so much for joining us this morning. Make sure that y'all are hitting that like button while you're in here in the chat room. It get a 9. Yes, I did. I had to do it. I had to get them. It was too many rattlers on the screen, so I had to just make sure my brother PM was covered. I know my value. Ooh, Mark Harp. Ooh, somebody get Mark Harp out of the chat room. I'm just playing. Shut up, Mark Harp. That sounds like you a rattler. Keep it tight, don't let nobody get close to me. My heart is right, don't question my integrity. No, I thought we would be just fine, and I thought your heart was like mine, but let me find out you've been going around throwing shots, running plots. Come on, man, tryna block my blessings. No need for comparisons. What's from me won't be from me. Shout out to the Wildcats in the building. Yeah. And I guess shout out to FAMU as well too. Just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for and make what you've been saying about me true. We came out of Bethune-Cookman College, Rebecca. Tell them I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. Don't waste my loyalty. I let you in back then because I couldn't see. But now it's clear you ain't ever been true to me. Yes, indeed. Tuition ain't never lied, I had to leave. I love all my people in the chat in here. I didn't know we had so many rattlers in the building. My gosh, man. Well, thankfully, you guys are now part of the Pride. That's right, like it or not. Lion Squad is the Pride. That's it. Y'all in the Pride now. Thanks. What's from me won't be from me. Shout out out to everybody this morning that's checking us out, so we appreciate the love. Make sure that you stay tuned. We got a lot more coming up, y'all. And look forward to seeing everyone at the patron party tonight, y'all. It is going to go down.
Tell them I need my money right now. Probably the juice they stole out my crown. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup it. Don't waste my.
How you gon' lie when you look me in my eyes and you show me your facade? Show me your facade. How you gon' lie when you look me in my eyes and you show me your facade? Show me your facade. You a lie. You in front, you say anything long as you get what you want. Tryna play me like a fool, homie, I am not a clown.
Y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button.
Now I'm on the verge of a meltdown. I should've known when I met her back at Midtown at Dogwood.
Well, 88, good morning, good morning.
It's all good. I even told her about the dark times I had in childhood when we were driving off of I-10 in Kirkwood. Now all that time I never get it back. You wanted that, used to hate when I didn't wanna hang. I noticed that, used to talking about your ex Jake with your next Jack. Used to messing with them white boys, now she went black. Wait a minute, guess you went and got yourself a real life. Got yourself some booty shots and live full of. You just wanna make a rapper beat like Dilla. You ain't nothing nice, radiators. Cause up close, baby, you a ghost. You a demon, and you should float. Get out the way and just go.
Shout out, Courtney.
And just float. How you gonna lie when you looking in my eyes and you say you down for the cause, but you really here for the ride? You ain't really feeding no sheep. You're a K9 in disguise. Should've never gave you nothing but a funky high five. I know we can't go back in time, but I wish I could rewind and get back all that money that I spent every nickel and dime. Cause you a lie, oh you a front. You gon' say anything as long as you get what you want. When you got yourself a new man, it ain't even been a month. I feel sorry for you.
Like you did come with a lot of good stuff.
The music this week has just been like, wow, man. Like I always love the tracks you select, but some of the stuff you had this week,
I appreciate that.
Soul, man.
Yeah, man. When I tell you I went on the search, and my search was actually not bad at all.
And I gotta stop playing and really send you. I gotta stop playing and really send you that Haitian music. Cause what I want to do is make sure I get
because they've been
one.
asking about it.
Yeah, so I gotta really stop playing and being black and saying I'm gonna get it to you. You gonna get it.
Get it to you tomorrow, okay? It's like 5 weeks later. Sis, what's going on?
Exactly.
Why do we all do that? This is why when you ever have somebody be like, I'm gonna pray for you, I'm like, no, you're not.
The prayer was what he said. I'm gonna pray for you. That was the prayer, because it ain't happening.
That was the prayer right there. I'm gonna pray for you. Is a prayer. Because if a black person tells you they're gonna pray for you, they not. They
prayed right there. It was the thought that counted.
It was the thought that counted.
When they say my thoughts and prayers are with you,
that was it.
That's it.
You're not getting any more thoughts. You're not
getting my heart. You know what I mean.
Yep. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm concerned enough about you to say that I'm gonna pray for you, but to actually get on my knees and pray for you, I don't know. That's
the actual action of it may not happen.
Because it's kind of my knees don't work as good as they used to.
You don't have to pray on your knees.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to give a good excuse. God, Rebecca, will you let me?
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to be there for you? I just got the Lord is watching me.
You ain't got to be there for me, but you ain't got to throw me under the goddamn.
I'm moving into a new lane in my life.
I ain't praying for you no more. I ain't got no prayers for Rebecca's no more.
Got Megan knees. These knees ain't good no more. I got Megan knees.
No, I got them knees that I got them knees that I was bopping, back in back when I started school. I don't know if you guys know that dance, but bopping and Wu-Tanging and all of that. I don't got the good knees no more. But so it'd be 2 seconds. It'd be 2 seconds. I'm searching for a good 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, actually, but if we messed up our knees anywhere, James, it was marching band. It was marching band. Like really tore up every ligament in my body. But I digress. Rebecca, you got some good stuff over there. What you got?
Yeah, speaking of music, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill, the greatest to ever do it. Lauryn Hill, and I'm going to get to a couple of things about Lauryn Hill as well. But Lauryn Hill went diamond. So The Recording Industry Association of America announced Tuesday night, confirming Lauryn Hill's debut album had sold more than 10 million units since its 1998 release. Mind you, this is her only album. While many people thought that the album was the beginning to a prolific solo career, she never released a follow-up album. The wild thing is no one from my label, this is what Hill said, Miss Hill is what we call her. This is what she said. She said, the wild thing is no one from my label has ever called me and asked me, how can we help you make another album? Ever. Did I say ever? Is what she said. No, they never called her because let me tell you what happened. Here's a short story. Lauryn Hill, look at all that beautifulness. I just love her. Lauryn Hill created this album, The Miseducation. Yeah. And, she's a rapper, she's a singer, she's a poet. She's just so amazing. And when she made that album, remember, she took a break and then she made the Unplugged.
Yes, I was just going to mention that one.
So people thought that she was crazy. Now, Unplugged is something that has saved me through my college career when I was going through anxiety, depression. That was something that really I listened to a lot. But at the time when she did do the Unplugged album, people thought she was crazy, going crazy because of what she was singing about. Things that she sings about today are what the woke people talk about. I mean, things that she sung about then are what woke people talk about and go and reference at times now today on social media. But back then it was too radical. Back then when she was calling out the system, it was too radical. Back then when she was talking about colorism, it was too radical. Back then when she was talking about the depression and things, when it was about love, it was too much. They thought she was crazy, but she was talking about things that she was experiencing. So they literally did not care for her to do something else, not knowing that also that body of work would be something that was historical and monumental. So she is the only female rapper to hit this status. Wow. This woman that, and I'm going to just say another story. When I first came to Atlanta, she was coming to do a show, and I've gone to different concerts here in the Atlanta area.
Was she on time?
And listen, so I'm going to get to that. Right. So I know it's a joke, and maybe I'm too. I love her so much, but I know it's a joke that you're making. But it's funny because I've gone to a lot of other people's concerts, and I've waited an hour. I've waited sometimes 2 hours before this person comes on, and they have like an artist singing before them and things like that. But because social media has made it such a joke with Lauryn Hill, it's interesting. But I went to her concert here, and she came maybe an hour later, an hour and a half later. But she had DJs, and Prince had died, and we were just enjoying ourselves. But because social media has tainted her as this type of person, mind you, I've been to mad concerts, and the artist has been late, including Beyonce. So, but I went to this concert. We were all partying on in the stands and listening and putting our hands up and singing about Prince the day he died, or around the time that he died. And when she had came out, it was just so wonderful. It was so, when I saw her, it was like, I don't know. It was like, this lady is just fabulous. And when she sang her renditions of the music and things like that. But there was a noise ordinance in this predominantly white area where this concert was happening. They cut Miss Lauryn Hill's mic off. And then the narrative behind that concert when they went online was, she came late anyway. She did but not knowing that there was a noise ordinance in this area, and they cut her mic off, not caring who she was or whatever. They cut her mic off. She stayed after, and I walked up to her and we spoke. Y'all, because I spoke to Lauryn Hill, but we spoke, and she was just looking like, she was apologizing. I am so sorry. I wanted to come and give you guys a show, and her show was amazing and everything like that. But now, because social media has dubbed her the woman that's always late, things like that. I've gone to places where your favorite artist has had me standing with my toes in the cold, just about to fall off, waiting for them to come on. But something about Lauryn Hill and how they have blacklisted her, which allows people to use her when it's for reference for Black History Month or when it's about women's empowerment, but to drag her all other days of the year, and not look at her as the rapper that she was, because her label decided she was too radical. And that's literally something I feel like that has been spread throughout the industry about her, and also leaked into how we perceive her as well. So
That's their loss. That's that record label. That record label not having enough sense to follow up on another album from Lauryn Hill. Because you're right, the Unplugged album, I still listen to that. Man, honestly, to this day.
Man,
now, y'all know I gotta play devil's advocate. Because I love Lauryn Hill, but I've been to 2 of her performances here in Atlanta. One was one of these festivals that they have at Lakewood Amphitheater. You know, that's in the ghetto. So we've been here all day long at this festival. Lauryn Hill was a headliner. So we're like, okay, let me rush him over at this other stage so I can make sure where Lauryn Hill is. We waited. We waited for 3 hours. And she came up there and she started playing. And so we were waiting. I'm like, okay. And when she started playing, you know, they got the screens and everything out on the side of the venue. So she started playing, but we're closer to the stage. First song, boom, screen goes off. And you hear her on stage just cussing out everybody, like going ham. Then it comes back on, she does another song. And it's like, okay, what's going on? Boom, screen goes off. Same thing again. So at that point, I'm like, yo, y'all know what?
They didn't have her right. She didn't want to look. She pulled a Keisha Cole. She wasn't going to come out because the camera and stuff wasn't right.
And then the other time was the same thing. We waited so long. We were just like, man, let's just go. I wanted to see Lauryn Hill live. It was my first time, but I already knew that she can't perform her original songs. She cannot perform any of her original songs. She can perform the original songs, but can't use any of the music to it. So here it is. Man. We're listening to Everything Is Everything, and it's sounding like something
they've done different renditions to them. But when I saw her, you're right.
They messed her up so much.
Yeah, they changed them up, but I think that's because she wanted to detach herself from the industry and the originalness of it, and you know she doesn't have the rights. They own that. So, but when I saw her, the rendition was amazing. But you're right. There are moments where like she's been late, and she probably was cussing them out because they didn't have it together. She probably didn't come up on stage. I'm always going to have an excuse for
Lauryn Hill.
Just like I have.
Rebecca, let me tell you something else too. Oh, I'm about to say, because I know you, but Beyonce. I've seen 4 Beyonce concerts, and she might have had me waiting, but at least she had Khaled, Chloe Halle. I had like all kind of entertainment waiting for Beyonce.
You guys are expecting too much. I've been to Beyonce. I've been to other artists as well, and have waited, like I said, the same amount of time that I waited for Lauryn Hill. But Lauryn Hill gave me a good DJ. Lauryn Hill gave me local artists to listen to before her stuff. People that matched the vibe. I loved it. Now, you know, when you have Beyonce, of course, you're going to have headliners like Khaled and Chloe and things like that. But when I go to a Lauryn Hill concert, I want that neo soul vibe. I want where people got their hair wrapped up like Badu. I want where they smoking on the side, something nice, right? Feeling good. I want that kind of vibe. And
you ain't going to smoke it with them. But you want the vibe. You want the vibe.
But I will say, you know, I'm going to always come behind her, because I saw her struggle and I saw how the industry treated her, and how people, the same people that were supposed to be riding for her, disrespected her in her history. This lady had a lot of issues, but her music will always be monumental.
Oh, yeah.
The same way that I will come and always protect Miss Anita Baker, because they say she is the rudest thing to ever hit anything.
Really?
Yes, the girl, one of those McLean's daughters, the young one, China, did a whole thing on Twitter about her and said, "Hey, I met Anita Baker, and she didn't want to take a picture with me." When I say Anita dragged her, Anita dragged her on Twitter and told her little girl, "I don't know you." That's
the auntie energy. That's just grown.
And by the way, y'all, if y'all don't know, Anita Baker liked Rebecca's post that time with
reply to that.
Yeah, that was dope as hell. So she's not rude to you, Rebecca.
I only have one question out of everything that we talked about. You guys mentioned DJ Khaled. How did DJ Khaled get a pass to say the N-word? Anybody help me with that?
So let me tell you. DJ Khaled is from South Florida.
It's like I'm like, bruh.
DJ Khaled is from South Florida, and he and this doesn't make an excuse, but down in South Florida, if you are black or brown, and you really have to look it, Like if you are black or brown, but there are actually black and brown people that come from where he's from. But if you are black or brown, you get the pass to say it. If you grew up in places like Liberty City, if you grew up in these hood spots, like people will allow you to say it. Growing up, that just was a thing. It was normal. But when we got a little older, I believe a lot of us started looking at him like, are you really saying that? My next door neighbor, who is white, was raised with my family, and he considers himself Haitian, but he's white, and he considers himself Haitian. Every time I go home, now he's, rocking the bolo dreads, sometimes getting his hair braided and things like that. And he started to use the word. He started to use the N-word. My brother was like, bruh. I love my boy so much, but Lord knows, Godspeed when he gets into them streets.
Let me tell you something. I just, because I was listening to I'm So Hood the other day, and I'm bopping to it. I'm like, man, Cali used to be he said, we the best, nigga. I was like, whoa. It kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, it's a thing. Honestly, down in South Florida, it is a thing, but it's also a thing you still could get yo wig. It's still like, you know what I mean? If you're not down with the crew, people don't know you a part of that hood. It's still also a thing you can get your wig split for. So black and brown people have gotten a pass on saying it. Great. But
let's do this because we are short on time. Normally we would take a break, but I want to very quickly bring up our next guest, Rosa Clemente. I have been a long follower of her work and her activism, her run for vice president, all the things that she's done. I am especially excited to talk to her today about her work with the new movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. Sister Clemente, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
Thank you, Ben, for having me on. I'm good. I'm just tired. Haven't slept in a week, but I'm good.
Yeah, and considering the amount of success and press and just the fervor around this movie, I really want to double back and thank you again for joining us this early. I would like for you to speak to us about the film. All of us have had a chance to see it on this show. It spoke to me at levels that sometimes I try to suppress, but the movie just kind of tapped right into the revolutionary spirit that is inside, I think, of everybody who has been marginalized in this community. But more than just our individual journeys with regard to our own struggles and radicalism, it is a story to me of a young man who had his finger on the pulse of the problem in this country. And in this film, I think it beautifully demonstrated the struggle that not only existed then, but also it felt like there was a direct tie to what we're experiencing now. Could you just talk about the film in general and your work with it?
Yeah, so Judas and the Black Messiah has been in the works for 3 years. We started in 2018. This is, I tell people, this is not a biopic. It's not a documentary. It's a movie. It shows the last 16 months of Fred Hampton's life. It also shows the women that were part and leaders in the Black Panther Party for self-defense as well. In it, you also get an understanding of what Chairman Fred began, the Rainbow Coalition. He began it when he met Chacha Jimenez of the Young Lords Party, when the Young Lords was still a gang. He encouraged Chacha to move the gang into what it would eventually become the Young Lords Party. And then along with the American Indian movement and the White Patriots and the Brown Berets to some level, that would have been raised a lot more if Fred had lived, as well as Deputy Mark Clark, so this is the history I studied too as an academic. So I've known Fred for over 20 years. I've obviously known what happened to his father, Mark Clark, and the survivors of that assassination attempt. And, some people say it's seen through the eyes of William O'Neill, which could be true. Shaka Kane was very honest from day one that there was no way a movie was just going to be made about the beginning of Fred Hampton's life to the end. The thing with Fred Hampton, though, is that he started organizing at 13 and was leading a chapter of the NAACP at 14. Fred became so dangerous to the counterintelligence program. At that time, J. Edgar Hoover had already said the two national security threats in the United States of America internally were the Black Panther Party for self-defense, and then second, the Puerto Rican independence movement. So I think when COINTELPRO and Hoover saw that the Young Lords and the Black Panther parties were working, particularly in Chicago, because they were also still always working with street organizations to have the street organizations join into an organized force for movement. Fred becomes dangerous when he creates a Rainbow Coalition, but the movement itself becomes dangerous because what people always forget is super convenience when people want to use the Black Panther Party for a show or a concert or as a fashion statement, that the Black Panther Party for self-defense, the Young Lords, the White Patriots, the American Indian Movement, these were socialist organizations that also were paramilitary organizations. Like, you weren't going to run up on any of them without them having the weapons that they needed to defend themselves. Just like that shootout you see, for folks who haven't seen it, those shootouts were happening every day, whether in Oakland, Brooklyn, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Those were common because that's how the cops, had the green light basically to assassinate who they wanted to, if not capture and incarcerate them.
Right. And we just spoke with Professor Jared Ball about that part yesterday, about it wasn't just the assassination, but it's the political imprisonment that really extends to our present day. Exactly right now, as I was watching the film, actually before I watched the film, before I knew that you were a part of the film, there were people who had questions about what it was going to be, right? Like a year ago when the first advertisement came out, marketing pieces started coming out, or 6 months ago, I lose track of time in the pandemic, but people were concerned that it would not be true to the revolutionary spirit of the Black Panthers or to the revolutionary spirit of Fred Hampton. And then when I realized that you were a part of it, and then I saw that Fred Hampton Jr. was a part of it, like there is an essence of this film that, in my best estimation, is as true as any film movie could be in terms of what the Black Panthers were fighting for and who Fred Hampton was. Of course, it's not a documentary, but I feel like you guys poured everything that you could into maintaining the truth about what they were fighting for, both in terms of Black liberation and in terms of their political socialism and their 10-point plan. You guys really spoke to that. Could you speak very quickly about the tension that exists between revolutionaries presently and those who are using mediums like the movies or like books or like whatever else, other creative mediums that they could use to convey that revolutionary spirit?
Yeah, every elder I've spoken to in the last week, Black Panther elders and Young Lords elder, say that the movie was extremely hard for them to watch, as we know how it ends, but also said that this was a necessary film in this time. Yes, there's been hardcore critiques. I mean, my comrade, Dr. Ball, being one of those people that has had a hard critique on it, For me, I see it as a new tool in our arsenal to not just talk about Fred Hampton, but to talk about how, Mark Clark, who was protecting him, also was assassinated, that there were other Panthers there that lived, that Mother Akua and Jerry was obviously not supposed to live because their goal was to kill her so that Fred, the son, would not be born. And that didn't happen, right? So they're assassinated on December 4th, 1969, and Fred Hampton is born December 29th, 1969, so they didn't want Akua surviving, and whatever ancestors were in that room protected her from even one bullet, because there were 100 bullets that was shot in there. And the FBI and CIA and the Chicago police and the state police all collaborated. The second thing I tell people is William O'Neill's a snitch for sure. He was an agent, but he wasn't the only one. And right now, in some of the movements that I observe, I know who the snitches are. I've been pretty clear to younger folks. Like, I've seen that before. Part of it seeing before is my training in the Malcolm X grassroots movement, being on the ground. We prepare for this stuff because all movements get infiltrated, so people have to understand that William O'Neill, I don't want to humanize him in that way, but he was a human. But after he did that he did the Eyes on the Prize, where he admitted that he was the FBI agent. 3 hours later, he was dead. And people say he committed suicide. Some of us think maybe the feds took him out right after he spoke, because William O'Neill had mad information on other movements that he had been tangential to. So I was like, yeah, he did that, which meant he would continue to speak out, which would not bode well for the FBI. So I don't think he stepped in front of that bus. I think that bus killed him. The person driving the bus.
There's so much to unpack in this, and I know your time is limited, but you said that you looked at this as a new tool in our arsenal, and that to me is really one of the reasons I reached out to you, because I feel the potential power in not only this movie, but in media and in the ability to tell these radical truths, just to tell them differently. Could you speak more about how you see this as a new tool in our arsenal?
Well, I mean, for me, the most thing that I hope people glean out of it is self-defense. The protests this summer were great, but the hijacking of the narrative around peaceful protesters are not. The reality is we all have the right to defend ourselves, and especially depending on what state. And we're going to have to make a hard pivot, because these white nationalists are coming after us with all types of military grade weaponry. And that people always say Black Panther Party, but they don't say the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And then lastly, as a Black Puerto Rican woman, I'm glad I had a role in making sure that the young lords were represented, because for me, as someone, I've worked now for 20 years around, quote, Black and brown solidarity struggle. I don't really use the word brown, but around Pan-African and international and domestic struggle. But it is an excellent tool for all of us, particularly African-American and Puerto Ricans, to smash this narrative that all of a sudden, like, Latinos are the most anti-Black people in the world, and everything they do is anti-Black and they hate Black people. That's real easy for white supremacy to say that, as opposed to always look at our centuries-long solidarity with each other. And for Puerto Rico to even take it out of this movie, when we were struggling to get the U.S. Navy to get out of Vieques, it was not just Puerto Ricans. Al Sharpton got arrested and spent time for protesting with us. His wife got arrested and spent time. I bring that up not tangentially, and there were many more people than Reverend Sharpton and his wife that came together with us around this goal of getting the U.S. Navy out, and vice versa. There's never anywhere you're going to go in this country at a protest for our people, for Black people, that you're never going to see Mexicanos and Puerto Ricans. You're never not going to see us, because we've been working together. So what I tell people using this film is, like, we also have to break this white supremacist narrative that keeps us divided for the benefit of them. And I think the film is very useful. I said I welcome the love and I welcome the critiques based in principle, but what I don't welcome is people just hating on it without any type of analysis, just because you say hating on everything. Like, we got people in our mix that all they want to do is complain and hate, but they don't want to offer solutions. This is just a tool. And hopefully the solutions that will move, particularly our younger people, forward in revolutionary struggle.
Rosa Clemente, there's so many more questions that I would love to explore with you, specifically with regards to not only this film, but also the nuances of the revolution in 2021. And you've been speaking to them so poignantly here, specifically with the division, the divide and conquer tactic that is so pervasive right now. Like it is everywhere. And it's something that we have to fight back against with solidarity. But the idea that our biggest enemies are people from just a different part of the diaspora, right? Or our biggest enemies are not the people who are in power with the wealth, with the weaponry, with the guns. And it's the same divide and conquer tactic that we have seen so many times before.
Ben, can I just say one quick?
Yeah.
Can I just say one quick thing with that? Because that's so important, right? What is the enemy is capitalism. What's going on in Texas is an abomination. It is complete failure of capitalism. The fact that 3 times more African Americans are dying of COVID, that 6 times more Latinos are dying of COVID, and that Native American communities are being decimated, their elders are dying, and they're losing their languages. We have to say Black capitalism don't work, Latino capitalism don't work, there's no compassionate capitalism. Socialism is the answer and a Green New Deal. And if we don't see that right now, I love talking about identity. I love talking about filmmaking and all that. But capitalism is the enemy, period.
As I like to say, capitalism is the devil. And I absolutely agree with you. It is a level of, to think that we've created a system, sis, out of the very worst in human nature, greed. We have rooted an entire economic, political, imperialistic system rooted in the very worst of humanity, which is greed. Is there any surprise? That Ted Cruz would jump on a plane and go to Cancun while his Of course not, because we reward.
Or Ben, is there any surprise of how Biden in less than 30 days already threw Latinos under the bus by continuing deportations, where he put out a memo yesterday? Honestly, Ben, you have one of the most best shows throughout the electoral process this time. But I don't understand how people thought that having a white president and a Black vice president was going to change anything. There's 24,000 detainees right now that they're going to try to deport in the next month. And it's less than 30 days. And also, where's the money? Why are you trying to work with Republicans? How dare you work with Republicans? How dare you want to even have they should have no seats at the table. That whole party should be imploding. And these Democrats are doing what they always do, forgetting the people.
And forgetting the people. And I think, and as a result, it's a result of a truth that I think Democrats aren't ready to come to terms with. But it's the truth. Our leaders, no matter what side it's on, but particularly Democrats, they are more interested in preserving these institutions than they are preserving human life, right? They're more interested in preserving the filibuster than just ramming everything through on behalf of the people. And because they have more interest in institutions than human life, no, we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be. I just wanted to I think we've given them enough time at this point, though. It's February 19th, and they've been in office long enough to have done something for the people. It's been right. I mean, it's time to put up or shut up, because I think what they're going to find really quickly is that, well, actually, no. And this is why I feel like the movie and media has to play a pivotal role in what has to change. Because Rosa, I think, and help me with this. I know we're already over time and you just let me know when you got to go. But I feel like the way they get away with this so much is because I don't think the people understand how valuable they are. I don't think they understand how valuable their own lives are. Because, I mean, that's just me trying to understand how we could see 500,000 people die in this country and we not rip this country down. Like, I don't physically understand in my heart, how is it that we could stand by and see our leaders on vacation while our people are struggling? And the only answer that makes sense to me is that maybe we as human beings don't understand how valuable we are. But I feel like a film like Judas and the Black Messiah, forgive me, and any film that can help convey not only the value of human life, but also the value of a revolutionary spirit, I feel like those are the only tools that we have left to actually move that paradigm.
Thank you, because I know you have to go to your next segment. I'll say this. The Judas in this is the federal government in the United States. That's who the Judas is. Okay, because William O'Neill was also young when he had charges and he had to make his decisions. They were wrong, but he did it. Second, as someone who really likes watching apocalyptic kind of stuff, I've been watching a show called Snowpiercer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is exactly where we're heading, right? Like these deep freeze, but in it, only a certain amount of people survive on the train. And at the end, they call them the tailies, the working class, right? And there comes a moment in like one of the episodes where one of the young people's like, all we've seen is adults create disaster after disaster after disaster. It's time for revolution and the young people are going to lead it. And I believe we're hitting that time if we don't make this hard pivot to demanding everything that won these folks the elections. If not upend the whole 2-party, 3-party, whatever, the whole electoral political project is dead. It's dead as a doornail. What are we going to do about that? Organizing. That's all we can always do is organize and create visual narratives that feed the movement as the movement feeds our cultural workers.
If I could just say one last thing, because we're actually it's not the next segment. We're going to throw it to our DJ and let him take us out of here and leave the people with a little bit of joy. But if I could just say one thing to you, sis, is that I feel like I want to thank you for taking it on the chin this week with regard to this movie, because I understand, and I may not understand at the level that you understand it, but I get it all the time, right? The questioning of our revolutionary spirit because we do X, Y, or Z, and those things are not readily approved of by those who, you know, perhaps are more revolutionary than us or whatever, however you want to phrase it. But the reason I want to thank you is because the truth of the matter is that every single inch that we can move this ball towards understanding the real fight is a valuable one. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up in the Black church, what we had, our revolutionary spirit, was organizing boycotts in the 80s. My dad organized boycotts. We had to hide under the bed just in case the Klan came by in Mississippi, right? But it wasn't until I was 12 and I watched Malcolm X by, what's our brother? Spike Lee. That I realized that there was a bigger, broader, long historical perspective of why I felt the way I felt. And then when I saw Mario Van Peebles' version of Panther in 1995, I was 15, it also helped move that ball. And they were pivotal. So I want to thank you and everyone who was a part of this film. While it may not be the revolutionary vanguard film that everyone wants, I know for a fact that some 12-year-old or some 15-year-old watched that movie and they are going to be a part of the next revolution. So thank you for it.
Well, Ben, thank you. Thank you to you and your team and your work. Thank you for having me. You know, I stay doing the work. That's who I am. I'm going to keep doing the work and keep bringing younger people into it. So thank you again for having me and having really good discussions about this movie. I appreciate it so much, brother. It's been our pleasure. Bless you, sis. And DJ Exclusive, give the people some energy to go into the weekend with. Remember, tonight we're having our patron party, patreon.com/the BPD show. And also, if you are not a patron and you can't afford to be a patron, totally fine. Go download the Voices app. Downloading the Voices app supports us, Voices by Action Sprout. And if you download the app, sign up for our community, we will send you the link to the patron party. So whether or not you have money or not, you can come and party with us tonight as we celebrate, well, just being alive and still standing in the middle of this pandemic. So DJ Exclusive, take it to the people for us.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Sister Rosa Clemente. We greatly appreciate you. Awesome movie. I had a chance to check it out last night. Greatly appreciate you and everything that you've done and all the hard work on the film. Gonna give y'all one good jam, y'all. And of course, you know what time it is. But make sure that you are here this evening to check us out at the patron party. And we're gonna have the greatest times tonight, y'all. So make sure that you have your face in place.
Have fun together when I feel done with having fun on my own. It's better to care for yourself, not rely on somebody else. So don't get me wrong, I'm just riding alone. Just walk away.
Brenda, thank you so much for that, y'all. Thank you so much for the love, y'all. Make sure that y'all are hitting that like button and make sure that you subscribe so you always know when Like It or Not is going down, y'all, all right?
If you want love, just give it up. You got the wrong girl. You got the wrong, you got the wrong, you got the wrong girl, girl. You got the wrong, you got the wrong, you got the wrong girl, girl. This is my time. I'm feeling good, rule every party. See how I shine when I'm alone. Nothing can stop me. You should go.
And of course, we couldn't let the show end at least see it having a couple of minutes or something of our brother Nick Eden. That's part of the Pride and the Lions Den, y'all. Shout out to Nick again. Thank you for the hot track, sir. Melody, good morning. Love you too. Thank you so much.
Make mistakes, you know that I ain't perfect. I know the days have come when you don't think that it's all worth it. Just know I'm trying to make it, trying to take it up a level. Cause you're my favorite girl, my pride, my world. And may I have this dance? Just give me a chance. Cause I'm a better man.
Rest in peace to Marky D of the Fat Boys. That's music I used to listen to when I was growing up.
To see where we could be.
Rest in peace, Prince Marky D. Gotta put some respect on my boy name.
Start a family, have a whole lot of screaming kids. Let's chill. Baby, you and me ain't nothing that we can't win. Let's chill. Please believe in me, baby, we can take over the world. Let's chill. Just you and me, cause you're my favorite girl. Now, baby, take a minute. Let me get up in your mental so I can show you places, things, and faces. It's essential for us to be the best, to take the test that lovers have to. Just let me prove my love will rise above. So may I have this dance? Just give me a chance, cause I'm a better man. And I know that though
and prayers for Texas, y'all. If you're in Texas, man, keep your head up. Last day of that freeze, y'all.
To see how we could be, baby.
My mama is giving me ultimatums in the chat room. She says she needs all my music by tomorrow. All caps. Y'all see it. 42 years old and I'm still getting attacked by my mama. Let me stop playing. Love you, mama.
Please believe in me. Baby, we can take over the world, yeah. Just you and me, cause you're my favorite girl.
All right, family, this is gonna do it for your boy James Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Hope y'all enjoyed the week. We had a lot of great guests, a lot of great stuff happened this week, y'all. It was an awesome, amazing week. We hope that you enjoy your weekend. Make sure that you be safe, double mask up, stay warm, all that good stuff, y'all. And make sure that you tune in on Monday, 8:30 a.m. for your next episode of Like It or Not. And we'll see y'all tonight at the Patreon party, y'all. Your boy DJ Exclusive is out. Oh, before I go, make sure that you download the Voices app. It is on the App Store, and you can search by Voices by Action Sprout, or just search for Action Sprout and it will come up. Or you can scan either of the QR codes on your screen and get the app. Use group code 213756. This way you can share your pictures, videos, photos, whatever you have, you can share with us and we'll get it on air, y'all. Again, we thank you so much. We love y'all and we'll see y'all tonight. Deuces.